Wiseburn families and friends, after a year spent distance learning, we are reopening our campuses to bring some of our students back for in-person learning. This exciting milestone is one that has required the efforts and time of so many across our district, including our families, teachers, staff, and community, and is made possible by our health and safety protocols. Our understanding of COVID-19 has changed dramatically since we first moved into our distance learning model of instruction in March of 2020. Researchers now have a better grasp of what measures mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and help keep us all safe. We've implemented these measures on our campuses to allow us to safely bring back our students and to minimize the risk of COVID-19 transmission on our school grounds. So with these measures in place, we're opening our doors on March 8th for hybrid instruction for our TK to second grade students, followed by a hybrid reopening for our 3rd through 5th grade students on March 15th. Some students will still opt to finish the remainder of the school year in the distance learning model. Regardless of the instruction model our families have decided is right for them, all students will adopt our new schedules on March 8th, which you can find in our district reopening guide. In our hybrid model of instruction, school will look a little different today than it did before the pandemic. So in this video, we're going to walk you through what a school day in our hybrid model of instruction looks like. We encourage parents and caretakers to watch this with students to ensure that everyone understands how we must operate at home and at school to keep each other safe and allow us to continue to keep our campuses open. At this point in the pandemic, we are all familiar with the basic recommended safety measures. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance. We encourage our families to continue these practices at home to limit risk of exposure, and we encourage students to bring these practices into the classroom and our school sites. Another commonly recommended practice that we'll maintain in our physical reopening is staying home when sick. If your student or someone in your student's family tests positive or is exposed to someone with COVID-19, it's critical that students are kept at home and that parents and caretakers contact the school site to inform them of the exposure. But it's also important to stay at home if you have the symptoms of COVID-19. Each morning, we encourage parents and caretakers to start the day by asking students how they're feeling. Parents and caretakers will also receive a link to a symptom screening survey that must be completed with students before they come to school. Students who are symptom-free will receive a time-stamped certification to participate in school and related activities. They will receive a green check mark, which they will show as they enter school grounds. Students who have symptoms or had potential exposure to COVID-19 will receive a red X, which means that they are not allowed to enter school, must stay home, and must notify the school site. After completing the screening and before leaving home, we encourage students to eat a healthy breakfast or lunch, depending on whether they're in the AM or PM cohort. Doing so helps ensure students will have plenty of energy for the school day ahead. We also encourage students to use the restroom so they can reduce the number of times they might have to leave the classroom during the school day. They should also be sure to pack an extra mask and a secured, sealable, reusable water bottle, since water fountains will be closed, but classroom sinks will be accessible. Coming to school will be a quick process, and we encourage families to make sure they come only at the times designated by their school site. To avoid crowding and to minimize contact, families should not arrive earlier than their designated time and should not linger at the entrance. If possible, we do encourage our families to walk to school. If families are driving to campus, however, students will need to be ready to unbuckle seatbelts and exit their vehicles as quickly as possible to ensure a smooth flow of traffic. Parents should remain in their vehicles. Both students and their parents and caretakers should wear masks that fit properly and maintain physical distance upon arrival at school. School site staff will provide directions for drop-off and will confirm the completion of the health screener for each student before they part from their parents and caregivers. Students will then be temperature checked and will enter the school premises at their designated entryway. For students with siblings arriving at the same school site, all siblings should enter and later exit from the designated entry point of the youngest student. As we begin this process, we ask our families to be patient and to follow the instructions of school site staff so that we can keep our arrival at school as safe as possible for everyone. Once students are through the gate, they will greet their teachers in front of the classroom and sanitize their hands by either using hand sanitizer outside or washing hands upon entering. Once in the room, students will take their desks behind the protective shields and follow the classroom protocols. The classroom will look different than before the pandemic. Each cohort will arrive to a fully sanitized room every time they enter. In the classroom, our new air purifiers will be active and provide continuous clean air. Desks will be spaced apart to maximize social distancing, and students will have one designated desk that they do not share with a neighbor. During class time, students will need to be prepared for some level of independence, since teachers may not be able to come up to them to assist. Students will also not be sharing any learning materials with others. Because everyone will be wearing masks, it's a good idea to practice speaking loudly enough to be heard clearly through that mask. If students need to wash their hands or refill water bottles, they can use the sink inside the classroom. During the day, if a student starts feeling unwell, they should let their teacher or nearest adult know so they can be taken to the nurse's office to isolate and be assessed. Students will be able to use the restrooms as needed and will notice that some stalls and sinks may be closed to help maximize social distancing. Posters will be hung up on walls in the restroom to remind students to wash their hands for at least 20 seconds after using the restroom. During the class cohort's designated recess time, students will be able to play and socialize with their classmates while maintaining social distance, but will not be allowed to mix with the other classrooms in their AM or PM cohort. Recess supervisors will have hand sanitizer available and will monitor activities. In between uses, custodial teams will spray down playground equipment with sanitizing spray. At the end of each class day, students will pick up their lunch. For the morning cohort, they will pick up lunch for that day to be eaten at home. For the afternoon cohort, they'll pick up their lunch for the following day, which they should eat before arriving to campus the next day. Then, students will exit campus according to their school site dismissal procedures found in the school site guides. Once again, it's crucial that parents and caretakers only arrive at their class pickup time's designated window to prevent crowding at the exit. Follow all directions from staff and please make sure to wear a mask during pickup. For those driving, please stay in your car throughout the pickup process. Make sure you have a plan with your students so that they know who will be picking them up. Once students leave the classroom, the school resets. After the AM cohort, custodial teams disinfect all of the classrooms using specialized equipment. After 90 minutes, the school is ready for students in the PM cohort. While the school day might not look quite the same, we are thrilled to have the opportunity to reopen our doors for general instruction. However, it's more important than ever to remain vigilant in our efforts to minimize COVID-19 transmission in our community and to keep our students and staff safe. We will rely on our community to continue wearing masks and social distancing outside of school, and to be conservative in their approach to their daily screening. If you're not sure if symptoms your student or family members have is due to COVID-19, it's better to be on the safe side and to keep students home. As we move forward, let's continue to encourage each other to be safe, but also to be kind and patient with one another. We've endured a trying year and the challenges and changes it's brought. And while we may not be back to our former sense of normal, we can celebrate how far we've come. I want to share my sincere thanks to our students, staff, parents, caretakers, and community as a whole for their patience, their cooperation, and their support over the past year. In these final months of this school year, let's continue to unite in Weisburn's mission of engaging, empowering, and elevating our students. Without further ado, welcome back, Weisburn.